Story 1. The locked room behind the furnace. I bought a house in northern Ohio last year, just me and my dog, Ozzy. It's a 1940s split level, nothing fancy, but it had this weird charm. It came cheap because the seller passed away and his next of kin didn't want to deal with it. A few days after moving in, I was cleaning the basement when I noticed something strange behind the oil furnace. A wall with mismatched bricks. It looked newer than the rest, like someone had sealed up a space intentionally. I thought maybe it was just bad patchwork, but curiosity got the better of me. I tapped on it. Hollow. A few days later, I borrowed a hammer and chisel from my neighbor. The bricks weren't mortared that well. I pried them loose until I'd made an opening big enough to slip through. Behind the wall was a small square room, maybe 6x6 feet. No light, concrete walls, and the smell, like mold, rust, and something old. Something dead. There was a wooden chair in the center with dried, frayed leather straps on the arms and legs, like someone had been restrained there. A rusted-out drain in the middle of the floor, scratches all over the walls, deep gouges. One word over and over again. Mercy. I backed out fast and resealed the wall that same night. I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to deal with the police or whatever history that room had. But then Ozzy started barking at the basement door. Every night, same time, 2:13 a.m., snarling, growling. One night, I stayed up and listened. At 2:13, I heard it too. From the basement. A chair scraping against concrete. I haven't been down there since, and I've boarded that door shut. The sound still comes back, but only when I'm alone. Story 2. The VHS tapes in the crawl space. When I was in college, I rented the basement unit of an old house with 3 friends. The rent was dirt cheap and the landlord didn't care how we used the place. There was a crawl space behind a wood panel in the laundry room. Creepy, but useful for storage. The panel was stuck shut at first, but one night after a few beers, we decided to open it. We expected cobwebs, maybe some rat droppings. Instead, we found a neatly stacked pile of VHS tapes, maybe 20 of them, all unlabeled except one marked in Sharpie. Do not watch. Obviously, we watched it. The footage was grainy. It opened with a man in a clown mask dragging a woman into a basement. Our basement. Same brickwork, same layout. He tied her to a post. No words, no sound, just the buzz of the old camcorder. He danced around her, then cut to black. The second tape showed the same basement, different woman, same process. We watched 5 tapes. They all followed the same pattern, always a different woman, always terror. None of us could finish the 6th. We were all shaking. We called the cops. They took the tapes, questioned us, then told us none of the women could be identified. No reports, no missing persons, nothing. But every night after that, the crawl space would be open again. We'd close it, nail it shut, come back from class, it'd be open. One time we found a fresh tape, still warm. It had footage of us, sleeping. I moved out 2 days later. I don't care who the clown was or what he did. I just know that someone still had a key, and he wasn't done recording. Story 3. The journal beneath the stairs. My grandparents left me their house after they passed. It was this 2-story Victorian-style place built in 1898. Lots of character, creaky floors, the usual. While doing some renovations, I ripped up the stairs to the basement and noticed there was a hollow section beneath them. I tore open the space and found a wooden box wrapped in cloth. Inside was a leather-bound journal, completely filled with handwritten entries. It belonged to James Arlen, a previous owner from the 1940s. His entries started normal, his job, his wife, his newborn son. Then they got strange. He wrote about hearing whispers from the walls, seeing faces in the corners of his vision. One passage said, "The boy's not mine. He came from the cracks. He wears the face of my son, but he watches me at night, grinning." Another said, "The thing in the basement is hungry. I hear it chewing. It knows my thoughts. It knows my shame." By the end, his handwriting turned frantic. Scribbles. He mentioned feeding it blood through the drain. said the basement demanded sacrifices. I thought it was madness, a mental breakdown, until I removed an old carpet in the basement and found a rusted iron ring in the floor. When I pried it open, it revealed a narrow, downward shaft, pitch black. I dropped a flashlight down on a rope. When the light hit the bottom, I saw something. Not clearly, just movement. A thin hand, not human, reaching up, curling around the beam like it had waited. I sealed it, burned the journal, but I still hear chewing under the floorboards at night. And sometimes, whispers that sound just like mine.